Welcome back, viewers. A major rally, a politically explosive agenda, and a federal government that has been waiting for exactly this kind of moment. Tonight is Ethiopia's federal government bidding a justification to launch a full-scale war on Tigray, and is tomorrow's rally at Mesco Square the trigger they have been waiting for. We break it all down. Addis Ababa's Mesco Square, one of the most politically symbolic locations in Ethiopia. Tomorrow, a major protest rally is being organized there, and the agenda is anything but ordinary. The Peace and Change Council, led by Tigrayan generals and politicians based in Addis Ababa, is behind this mobilization. One of the rally's key organizers came forward today and said something very direct. The Ethiopian federal government must solve this issue either peacefully or by taking action. Let that sink in. Either peacefully or by taking action. That is a call for military intervention in Tigray, wrapped in polite language, but the meaning is crystal clear. TPLF spokesperson Michael Esheto confirmed what everyone was already thinking. He held a press briefing and said directly, "We have no doubt that Saturday's rally is being organized in Addis to wage full-scale war on Tigray. And here's what makes this different from any ordinary street protest. This rally reportedly has government backing. It's not just Tigrayans showing up. Non-Tigrayans are being invited. People are being contacted, warned, and reportedly even bribed to attend. This is a manufactured mandate, and the federal government of Abiy Ahmed knows exactly how to use it. Think about what this rally means strategically, not emotionally. Addis Ababa wants to show the international community that Tigrayan people themselves are demanding federal intervention, that the TPLF does not represent all of Tigray, that what looks like a war on Tigray is actually a rescue operation. If shots are fired tomorrow or next week, the federal government will stand in front of the cameras and say, look, thousands of Tigrayans marched in our capital just days ago. They begged us to act. We had no choice. That is the script. That is the narrative being written right now, not on paper, but on the streets of Addis Ababa. Meanwhile, Getachew Reda, who not long ago was the voice of Tigrayan political leadership, released a message calling on all people in Addis Ababa to attend this rally. Mothers are crying. Youths are being conscripted. He says everyone must come because the people of Tigray are suffering. But here is the critical question nobody is asking loudly enough. How does this rally stop conscription? How does a march at Mesco Square free one single Tigrayan mother's son? It doesn't, unless the outcome of that march is federal military action, which is exactly the point. Now let's talk about something Babysik Tigrinya has quietly confirmed, and what has been reported here for weeks. Tedros Adhanom Ghebreyesus, former president of Tigray, a man of enormous political weight, is effectively under house arrest. He is not making decisions. He is not participating in war or peace planning. He is a political prisoner inside his own home. US Ambassador Ervin Masinga visited Tigray and attempted to meet with Tedros directly. That meeting was blocked. TPLF generals refused. When Masinga tried again this time, wanting to enter Tigray through Kobo, in southern Tigray, Tigray's military refused again. They said, you cannot meet with Tadeus Weredi. That's off the table. Wede himself was told, 1 hour before a scheduled meeting with Masinga, that he could not leave. He was furious. He reportedly threatened to walk out alone without his security detail. His family stopped him. He then spoke with Lema Megesa by phone, a man who is now an outsider, someone the TPLF military no longer considers reliable for political or security decisions. What does all this tell us? It tells us Tigray's military and hardline TPLF commanders have consolidated control. Moderate voices were ready. Getachew ready. Anyone willing to negotiate have been sidelined or locked away. The people left making decisions are not the peacemakers. They are the war faction. Let's step back and look at the bigger picture, because this didn't happen overnight. Since the 2022 Pretoria Agreement ended the devastating Tigray war, a conflict that killed at least 600,000 people and displaced over 5 million, the peace deal has been slowly dying. The TPLF was suspended by Ethiopia's National Election Board in February 2025 for failing to meet registration requirements. Then, in May 2025, the TPLF was stripped of its legal standing as a political party entirely. By March 2025, TPLF-aligned fighters had seized Adigrat Tigray's second largest city and ousted the federal-backed administrator. The interim government in Tigray was calling for emergency federal intervention. By January 2026, open clashes had erupted again. The Tigray Defense Forces crossed the Tekeze River into the Salemt area, directly engaging Ethiopian National Defense Forces, the first major military confrontation since the supposed peace. And now a brand new armed group has entered the equation, the Tigray Peace Force, a splinter faction of disgruntled former TDF members who feel abandoned and are now fighting alongside federal forces against the TPLF. Ethiopia is fighting a proxy war inside Tigray, using Tigrayans against Tigrayans. Meanwhile, the federal government has been amassing heavy artillery and armor near Tigray's borders. The Ethiopian Air Force reportedly conducted drone strikes on Raya Azebo, killing both Tigrayan fighters and civilians. International observers call it a direct violation of the Pretoria ceasefire. Eritrea's Isaias Afwerki, who has never trusted the peace deal, reportedly continues to back hardline TPLF factions, while also maintaining troops inside Eritrea-controlled parts of Tigray in violation of the ceasefire terms. And according to analysts, this situation risks pulling in Egypt, the way Saudi Arabia and Israel, all of whom have strategic interests in the Horn of Africa. This is no longer just an Ethiopian civil war. It is becoming a regional proxy conflict. Amidst all the politics and power games, let's not forget who is actually suffering. As of early 2025, nearly 870,000 Tigrayans remain internally displaced, unable to return to their homes in western and southern Tigray, which are still contested by Amhara militias and Eritrean forces. Conscription is forcing young men into a war they did not choose. Mothers are watching their children disappear into military camps. The Pretoria Agreement promised transitional justice. It promised disarmament. It promised the return of displaced people. 3 years later, 4 out of 15 core articles of that agreement remain unimplemented. The people of Tigray were promised peace. They got a pause. Tomorrow's rally at Mesco Square may appear to be a cry for help, but look closer, and it is something else entirely. It is a political weapon, designed to give the Ethiopian federal government the cover it needs to act, designed to divide Tigrayans, designed to make war look like rescue. There are no signs of talks between the federal government and the TPLF, no engagement, no diplomacy, only silence and the sound of troops moving north. The people of Tigray have already survived one of the deadliest wars in recent human history. They cannot afford another one. We will keep tracking this story as it develops. Like, share, and subscribe, and ring the bell so you don't miss our next update.